So Bitcoin is at 101,300. We're clearly in a downtrend. Question is this a point at which we begin to reverse? Since we've had this 15-minute market structure shift that I was talking about on yesterday's live, we have had a nice push up into this 15-minute OB, and then a nice rejection from it too. But yeah, is this going to go straight down and make new lows, or is this going to reverse? I'm still in this long, as you can see. I did take some profits, like I said yesterday, 50%, which basically means, you know, if I get stopped out from this trade now, it's a break even, and that was a trade I was willing to take. As I mentioned on the show yesterday, because we touched the 50%, that's why I'd be willing to take that for now as a nice area of rejection. 50% zones, if they don't create a full-on reversal, a lot of the time they get a really nice bounce at least. So I'm still in this long. Like I said, I've taken some profits. We are clearly still in a downtrend on the hourly and the 4 hour. So what will confirm for us that this is going to create some sort of low here to form a double bottom on the 1 hour? Well, we need to see a 15-minute bullish market structure shift really, and that would look something like this, exactly what happened just here. If we can get a similar structure to this form just below the 50% zone here, that would be a really nice entry for another long. So that's a nice conservative option to just wait out until we get that. If we don't get that, if we don't get any type of reversal confirmation below this 50% zone, then yeah, it's likely we're gonna take out these lows. In which case I'll be stopped out and this trade will close break even. I'm not in any short positions. I did mention yesterday that I'd be willing to take some short positions at either the 50% zone of this leg down, and also this bearish OB up here. Until then, I'm waiting for long positions now that we've touched the 50%. Yes sir, yo Hamza, nice to see you, man. Thanks for joining. How you doing? So yeah, really nice rejection from this actually, from this 15-minute OB. Nice wick into here and a push lower. That would have been a nice short. The reason I didn't take a short here, actually a scalp, is because there was no clear high and low except this one. What would have been nice is if we pulled back a little bit here and created a low and we had a clear rejection. But I wasn't comfortable taking a short here. What are we, Hamza? We long, we short? Good to hear, man. Good to hear. So yeah, clear 4 hour downtrend now, beginning. We're trying to play some sort of bounce here, and that'll come clear to us soon. We need to see if we reverse in this area just here. That'll be really nice. Something like this. Double bottom. Hourly MACDs look like they want to come down a little bit more. If we see a flip on the hourly MACD, similar to this, that's a nice confluence to add. How does this 4 hour look? 4 4 hour looks like it wants some relief. Nice. Closed a short. Good short. There's been some great shorts at the minute. Oh, thoughts on taking a short 1-to-1 on a failed 15-minute MSS? In this region here, you mean? Potentially. Personally, I don't take trades that are outside of my personal strategy, but if that's the way you want to go, see how it goes. Generally a failed MSS like earlier. Yeah, like a manipulated one. We do see those quite a lot, like this. Where was the last one? Kind of like this here. MSS, then a crash. There's a reason that this failed as an MSS, and that's because we didn't break this high. We didn't ever break this trend. We just continued the downtrend. And yeah, you are right actually. Notice when you have a failed MSS, at least with decent dumpage. Yeah, that's like a wick, isn't it? It's just a wick everyone out that was long. It would be an interesting thing to backtest actually. That is an interesting thought. I guess in areas of low interest, you could measure how many failed MSSs you get. If you get, 60 to 70% failed MSSs in low interest zones, that's a good strategy in itself. Yeah, if you backtest that, let me know. 100% let me know about that. That's a good idea. But yeah, no, for me at the minute, stick to this. Yeah. No, that's a good idea. Yeah, give that a go. Let me know. I'll keep an eye out myself as well, actually, because I do take note in my log of areas of low interest and how we react to them sometimes. So that is, we can test that. This is the importance of backtesting as well. I found it's the most important thing in my trading completely, except for your mindset towards losses. Logging is the most important thing that's helped me improve. There's no way I could have improved some of the things I have done without being able to see the history of my trades, where I went wrong, where I went right. And so, yeah, no, we can keep an eye on that. Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a tricky point right now. What's really nice that I like is that we have had this 15-minute MSS, and I'm willing to play that out for now. Like I said, I'm going to hit break even if this gets stopped out, and that was exactly my plan. I didn't want to lose too much money on this trade, but it's worth trying the 15-minute MSS here. What I do see quite a lot of the time when we push into an OB with such strength like this straight up is we do have a choppy rejection, not a sharp one, a choppy one, and then this actually does lead to a new low and we push through. This isn't a very strong OB. We've had a nice rejection from it so far. I'm not quite sure if this is strong enough to take us to new lows, but we'll see. Like I said, so far we need to see to stay in line with our thesis of the market shifting temporarily here. We do need to see some sort of clear market structure shift. Nice, man. Yeah, I'm 100% certain that you're gonna benefit from this. So yeah. And that's advice I'd give to anyone, even just starting off. Even if you have no idea what you're doing, just start logging. Start finding patterns. Start finding what works and what doesn't. So yeah, hopefully this plays out. It's really nice that we had this MSS. We haven't broken any kind of internal structure to the upside. Our low currently sits here. And we have now come to the 50%. I did mention this on my X yesterday, that what would be nice to see is a 50% pullback and then a confirmation of reversal. That's exactly what I'm looking for still. Same with the total. Again, exactly the same. Nice rejection from the 15-minute OB. We have tagged the 50% nicely on the daily. It's just a question of if it's going to hold. Hourly MACD still wants to trend down a little bit. 4 hour looks ready. Reversal will come soon, even if it's a very temporary one, just to bring us up to a new lower high and then lower. If this takes a new low here, then we know where the hourly high sits, so this would be our market structure shift, but for now we play the 15-minute. Yeah, exactly. You know, we do need to see an hourly. There's no way we can predict that this downtrend is going to reverse until we break this 4 hour OB up here. This is the 4 hour high we need to break. That's the last 4 hour high that we had of this downtrend. We need to make a new one and then create new lows, potentially chop for a bit, and then it needs to be clear to us that we're going to, on the 4 hour change trend. This is why I like to play the longs on the lower time frames, take profits, and then hold to break even, especially when you hit zones like this. But for now, yeah, I would say if we break the 1 hour, which currently sits just here, this is a 3 candle reversal here. If we break this level just here, that would just tell me that we're going to continue upwards into this OB. But even then, that's not confirmation of a reversal on the 4 hour downtrend. We need to break this high. That's just too long. 111k, that's the 4 hour high. I would call this potentially even the 1 hour, because I don't really like the look of this as a 1 hour high. This might even be the 1 hour. In fact, I'd only really be comfortable trading this as the 1 hour. Reason for that is the 4 hour trend right now is the high, the lower low, lower high, lower high, and then lower low. So that's our 4 hour structure right now that we need to break. But it's likely we're going to stay intact in the structure and go lower. But yeah, if we break this 1 hour, then it's likely we come up into this OB. Very likely if we break this 1 hour. I wouldn't be looking for this to break through here. I'd be looking for some sort of rejection in this area, either at this 1 hour OB or the 4 hour up here. But I'm looking for longs first. See if this long holds out here. How long, what is this looking like? Might take a day to tell us, might take us an hour. We might just drop straight through here. If we drop straight through here, then we've got this high that we know. This is a good high for a market structure shift if we make a new low here. That would actually be a really nice structure. If we can make a new low here and then create some sort of market structure shift, that would be really bullish in my opinion. Yeah, that's another thing with trying to catch lows like this, especially when they end up looking like a double bottom, is, you know, if you come too low here, you create so much liquidity underneath. Like you said, it's just a beautiful liquidity pool for market makers to just wick into. That may be what ends up happening. But yeah, I don't want to see us come too low, like you said. I don't want us to create too much liquidity. There's not too much of a build-up right now. We've not had a nice uptrend begin. It's been pretty choppy on the 15-minute. And I don't think we'll create too much liquidity underneath unless we come, you know, just above 99k. Yeah, could be formed. Problem is that's not, I wouldn't be able to trade that. I mean, I'm long anyway, but I wouldn't be able to scalp that because there's no structure here. This is the last 15-minute high that we need to break. What I'd like to see is us go a little bit lower, maybe just to here. $99k. We can look at liquidations. All right, so there's a liquidity pool forming just here above this low, which is nice. If it was below this low, that wouldn't make me feel as comfortable. And we've got a lot of liquidity at just above this high here. Absolutely possible. This is what would be the absolutely ideal play for us. If we can have a nice wick down to take this liquidity, show a market structure shift, come up to take this liquidity, that's exactly the trade we're looking for. So that's nice, that coincides with that. Yeah, could be a double bottom. Where does this sit? Oh, there's some liquidity, 98. Oh no. There is some liquidity down here. Like I said, I do expect us actually to make a lower high at some point and continue lower. But I want to see a reversal here. Yeah. I don't trade double bottoms. I like to make note of them. It is a retail pattern really. And I find a lot of the time, you know, it's less obvious. Because how do you know when the top's going to form? But like you said, we are at 99k, a nice psychological level. If we hit the 50%, it's quite a clear double bottom so far, but what would have been nice is if we broke through this 15-minute OB. That would have showed a bit more strength, and then a reversal down to here would look a bit nicer. Currently we've had a lot of sell pressure in the first OB that we hit, so that's why I'd like to see some more confirmation. Oh, this one here. that is where that's where the liquidity pool sits at the minute, I think, just under this. It's absolutely, I mean, it's possible we wick to take that, and then that's our double bottom, exactly like what happened here. High, low, and then we just wicked past it just to take a little bit of liquidity there. It's possible that happens. Or we could leave it behind for now and come back for it. Like I said, I don't, if this does create a double bottom, I don't expect it to be a very powerful one. I think it'll just take us up to some of these bearish OBs up here, possibly even just 50%, and then take us lower. So this liquidity at some point will be taken. But yeah, let's see if it's taken before we actually reverse. It's possible. If that happens, I'll probably be wicked. Maybe I should put my stop just under. But I've already set my risk and everything. If that happens, if we do get a wick below here, hopefully there's some sort of structure that we can play. If we get wicked out, but we've got a nice structure to confirm a reversal still, you know, we can play this. We can get stopped out and play it again. If I get stopped out of this trade, I'm break even. So I'll leave that anyway. See if we hold. Probably wrap that up. Have you got anything else you want me to look at? Total's pretty much the same. I'm still in this BNB trade. We haven't yet pulled back 50%, but a similar thesis to Bitcoin. XRP is doing exactly what I spoke about yesterday. Pulled back to this zone. I've not entered a trade. What would be nice is if we have a 15-minute market structure shift here, and then we can think about longs, but we need to see what the total's doing. If the total does the same, if that's in confluence, then this would be a really nice XRP trade. There's a few tokens that are looking bullish after this 15-minute market structure shift yesterday. Oh, you're welcome, mate. You got any altcoins that you're looking at? These are a few I've found that have made a nice market structure shift on the 15-minute. Everything else is looking slightly weak. Follow my ex if you don't. It's the only place I can update you like constantly all day. So, you know, I do these lives a few times a week, but this is the only place I can really update you as soon as I'm taking trades and thinking about things. Yeah, mate, exactly the same as me. Except I'm in this BNB long. But I mean, there's very select altcoins that I would trade in certain conditions. Right now, this is tricky, like you said, tricky conditions. We need to see if things are in confluence with each other though, because right now the total chart, actually we haven't even broke this hourly high yet like we have on some of the alts, so they're not in confluence with each other. So many occasions do I see this just make new lows if the total is rejecting, so we need to be cautious of that. But if we can break through this OB, that'll be a really nice indication for me that altcoins are going to have a bit of a relief rally, but you're definitely smart to stay away from altcoins for now. Bitcoin is king. I think I'll leave it at that though. waiting for some sort of grab of liquidity, 15-minute, and that can be in the form of this, or it can be in the form of this, but we play what we see. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, man. Good to see you. See you over the weekend.